Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Mark DiPietro. I'm the Vice President for Marketing and Communications at Landmark College. And we're talking tonight about our brand new online program called College Start, first year program that will be exclusively online, starts this fall. And I have several of my colleagues here tonight who are going to tell you all about the program. You can please post questions at any time in the Q&A box, and we'll save time toward the end of the presentation to take your questions. So I'm going to ask everyone to introduce themselves. I'm going to start with Jill.
Oh, hello everybody. Good evening. My name's Jill Hinckley, and I'm the Dean for the School of Education. Welcome.
And Manju.
Hello, everyone. I'm Manju Banerjee. I'm the Vice President of Educational Research and Innovation here at Landmark College, and delighted to speak to all of you.
Michael.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Luciani, and I'm the Vice President of Student Affairs. Welcome.
And Tabitha.
Hello, I'm Tabitha Mancini. I'm the Director of Outreach for Online Learning, specifically our dual enrollment program here at Landmark College.
And Kevin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Main. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment Management, and we're thrilled that you're joining us this evening.
And Peter.
Thank you, Mark. I'm Peter Eden, President of Landmark College. So happy to see you all here tonight. And what we're going to do is we do have a slide deck, and not too many slides, but we're going to give you an overview of the College Start program. And our main aim, however, is, if possible, to hear from you. We would love to know what you're thinking, what you want, what you need, and we will try to incorporate that in the program. It's just about completed, but we've waited a little bit before finalizing it so that we can hear from some of the future parents and educational consultants. So first, are you sharing the screen right now, Mark? Can't hear you. Is Mark sharing the screen?
Sorry, yes, I couldn't unmute myself. Yeah, I was. I'm putting it back up right now.
All right. So I want to give you a little bit of context before we go into the slides. For those who are not entirely familiar with Landmark College, we've only served neurodiverse students who learn differently, typically due to dyslexia, ADHD, autism, executive function challenges. This is all we've done for 35 years. And the college is, we have associate degree, bachelor's degree programs. We've always been a bit of a transitional college, which is wonderful. And for many years now, we've recognized that there are a lot of smart students with a learning difference who are looking for a different sort of transition into college. And we've always offered that with our program, but more and more over the years, parents are specifically looking for a gap year or a transition program. Sometimes it's a little bit too much like year 13 of high school. So about 2 years ago, we started a transition at college program on our campus. And since then, and not just because of the pandemic, we've decided to grow further our very successful online program, LC Online, to include a first year of college option for those who are unable to make it to our campus. So this is a very exciting time for us, and we might as well go into the slides fully now, Mark. Can everybody see this slide one at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So I don't have control of the pointer here, so I'll just go down in the bullet points. We've been offering an online dual enrollment program for high school students and some gap year students for years now, and it keeps growing every year. These are college courses for students who are neurodivergent. Tremendously successful, gives them a leg up on college. Of course, that second bullet point is what we are going to launch this fall and talk about tonight is College Start. And this is the first year of college, so online, but sort of de-risked and really loaded with resources. But you'll hear more about that in a minute. Also, for LC Online, we've been offering a professional certificate in learning differences, neurodiversity. It's a post-bac program for educators and professionals for years, and that's growing like gangbusters too. Tremendously successful, all online. And you see the fourth bullet in italics is we know we need to build in some online associate and even bachelor's degree programs, but we always focus on quality, not quantity. We want to have the best programs in the world, and so we are moving very carefully into the space, and even the College Start program it'll be a premium program just like our residential one, and we're not expanding too quickly. We know these students, they need the absolute best environment, whether it's face-to-face or online. Let's go to slide 2, Mark. So we called it College Start, and sure, it's an acronym: success, transition, awareness, and results, as well as a transformation. This is what we expect for students who want to transition to college in this way, students who have some LD. So it is College Start, and a bit more about the actual program now. I think, Jill, are you going to do the next slide?
Yes, Peter, I'm happy to.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to grab onto one of the words in that acronym START, which is transformative, transformation. And I'm really excited to talk about this program because what we do at Landmark and what we're really committed to is to help students transform their learning experience, and to do that in a way that's highly accessible. So that's what this program is modeled on. You can see in that first bullet that it's fully online, and online in a supportive environment for college-capable students with learning differences. We're planning the program so students can earn in their first year up to 28 credits. And these are courses that are our signature courses, but also courses that are part of a general education foundation that work well anywhere. Students are asked to take this on all college campuses. So it's a leg up there for students. What's different about the START program, I think, from maybe some other online environments is that we are building in thoughtfully synchronous sessions so that class meetings will have synchronous times during the week, and they will have access to an advising team that's providing academic support and helping students navigate their curriculum. And it's a high-touch model. They're going to be meeting with these advisors at least twice a week. And office hours will be built into the schedule so that students have access to their professors one-on-one in real time. And I think that makes a huge difference. And likely Manju will talk about that a little bit later. And finally, we're really committed in this program to help students make a transition to their college experience. It's highly supportive, and it's going to be run as a cohort model. We're thinking about these students and parents, you too, who are on the call, that you're part of this cohort. So we'll have programming for parents as well as we go throughout the semester, and we help students in their learning environment, and we help parents think about what it means to be a parent of a college-age student learning in this environment. So I'm going to pause there. So
Thanks, Jill.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Thank you. So now we'd like to move on to a really important part of the college experience for any student, and that's the ability to make connections with other students and the institution, get a sense of belongingness and engagement. So we really felt it was important to build this into the Landmark College START program. And the way we're doing that, as Jill just mentioned, we're creating a cohort model for all the students who are enrolled in the program. But it goes a little further than that. This cohort model is going to be treated just like every other cohort that we have on campus and broken up into residential communities. We are thinking of this cohort as a virtual residential community or residence hall on campus to create that sense of community for the START program. Now we're going to facilitate that in a number of ways. First of all, we're going to have members of our residential life team, both professional staff and student leaders, work with START students every week throughout the semester to make sure they're engaged, they're connecting with each other, and they're connecting with a number of the activities and programs that will be available online to not only our students here in Putney, but for students in the START program as well. Those kinds of programs will include things like lots of our clubs and activities, our student government association, some wellness activities like Zumba and workouts, some electronic gaming, things like that. So we have a wide range of programs that students can participate in with students here on campus and with other students in the START program. In addition, the residential staff, the resident dean and the resident assistant are going to be working closely with all the other support members of a student's team. So the faculty and the academic advisors and the academic support. We really treat this as one educational program for students, and we really make sure that every vector of their lives has some support in the program. And then finally, as Jill had mentioned before, workshops for families are also very important. So as a family member, you can not only learn how to be a good parent of a college student now, but you can also learn more about our programs, what's behind them, and a little more about what students are going through as they develop through their college years.
So, Michael, I'll take over here very briefly. I want to address something that many of you might be thinking or have heard, that the online platform is not user-friendly for students who learn differently. And you're not inaccurate in that perception. In fact, what we know from past research is that the online learning places different cognitive demands on learning compared to face-to-face. For one, students need to be much more disciplined in the online context. Also, we know, again, I'm emphasizing the word past experience or past research, that online can exacerbate executive function difficulties such as time management, goal setting, and so on. But hold on. Here is what we have learned at Landmark, and what we have learned through our online experiences is that online courses, when designed and delivered in a way that scaffolds and supports executive function challenges, and it can be done, students who learn differently can actually find success and even benefit from online courses. And in this respect, LC Online is leading the way. So the question is, what have we learned? Well, one of the things we've learned for sure is that we need to create this online learning community, despite it being a remote community. And I'm going to ask my colleague Tabitha to talk a little bit about some of the things that we've learned from the dual enrollment experience. Tabitha?
Thank you, Manju. So just to clarify, our dual enrollment is open to high school juniors, seniors, and gap year students with LDs who are on a college track. And Peter had mentioned we have about 300 students per year and 52 school partners, and it's growing every year. And so our dual, and we've been doing it for quite some time, and our dual enrollment program really acts as an incubator for innovation for our online programs on our campus. And one of the things that when I'm talking with educators and students and parents is having a discussion about, as Manju said, kind of the peer-to-peer connection and building a learning community. And one of the things that we hear over and over again is how our students love being able to have this opportunity in this moment to build a community of people who have kind of similar cognitive profiles and have very similar stories, and they learn from each other. And so they're learning from their peers, but they're also learning how to and enjoying building learning community. Here we have Jocelyn. So Jocelyn is one of our, she's from one of our school partners, and Winston Prep, as you can see. And she had taken a number of courses and has successfully transferred to a college of her choice. And she did very well. We can, if you would like to hear from more than the quote from Jocelyn here, we do have on the dual enrollment page, the web page, we have a full video that talks about her experience, and also some of the educators at Winston Prep, kind of their experience and the framework that they use in making their decision to have their students part of our dual enrollment program. What's the next slide? How can I apply? That would be Kevin. I'll turn it over to Kevin.
Thanks, Tabitha.
You're
So
welcome.
if you like what you see so far and you're interested in applying for the program, or you know somebody that might be a good fit for the program, you can visit the URL that's listed there, which is landmark.edu/college start. There is an apply button that you can press that will show you a PDF formatted application. And then within the next couple of weeks, we'll have an online version as well. Now, similar to all the programs on the undergraduate level at Landmark, in addition to completing the application, we do also require your transcript from high school, your psychoeducational evaluation, which would consist of both cognitive and achievement test scores, one letter of recommendation, and then we do also require an interview. The interview can be done in person, by telephone, or by video. Now, once everything's in, we do take our time to make sure that you're a good fit for the program and the program is a good fit for you, assigning an admissions counselor to work with you every step of the way. And a big part of that is getting to know you. And we do that through a number of conversations and also talking to your letter of recommendation and talking to your school. Once everything's in, typically within a week or two, you're notified on the decision of your acceptance, or if we need to make some other recommendations for you. At any point, you can reach out to us in admissions@landmark.edu, and we'd be glad to work with you. Turn it back over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everyone. So we do have some questions for our panel. Okay, first question. Online learning was a disaster for my high school senior during the pandemic. He would show up to class and do nothing afterwards, such as homework, etc. What will you offer online that will help engage these reluctant learners?
Shall I take a stab at that, Mark?
Please,
So-
thank you, Jill.
I know that's of concern for a lot of families, and we talk about the online fatigue as well that's building up for probably all of us at this point. I think one of the unique experiences a student can have with Landmark is this very, very close connection with academic support and advising that can be structured into the students' late afternoon, early evening hours, and really help them guide and follow through with the work that they're assigned in their online classes. Another thing that might be different than the experience in high school is that our courses are really developed to be highly accessible and scaffolded and designed in such a way that they're easier to follow. And what we've found, and Manju was talking about a little bit ago, is that sometimes students had difficulty in their courses because they're losing track of where they need to be in the course, and then they sometimes get overwhelmed, and that causes students to kind of shut down and getting moving in their work. So that's a few ways in which we address that.
I'll add to that, Jill, is that our courses, you have almost your advisor is with you all through and kind of just guiding your executive function areas that might create a challenge for you. Asking you the questions, facilitating the steps that you need to take. It has built-in study guides. It has links to strategies, and it has built-in thinking prompts. So the only thing I'd invite you to think about is that there are many models of online out there, and many of them that are not good. So sometimes when we have an unfortunate experience, we kind of label the entire online platform that way. And our experience has been different. We're inviting you to kind of rethink the online experience for students who learn differently.
And I also think it's important to remember that, for most of the students, school has been a nightmare for them in any modality. And they get to Landmark, and this is why we're not simply taking our uniquely engineered online courses and just offering that. At Landmark, we don't like to call it a 360-degree model, but it's about as personalized and supportive and resource-rich model as you're going to find anywhere in the world. There's a science and there's an art to it. And so for our online program, we knew it had to be similar to our residential program. We had to have support from every angle, skills to be built even outside of that academic learning environment. And some of these things that happen outside the class, they can help pull a student along as well, making friends, electronically brushing shoulders with other Landmark students. These are the things that'll make this program different. It won't just be a course or two or three in the bedroom at night and really no other connection. And that's not at all what we're looking for here.
Peter, if I can just add just a couple of comments to everyone's, but everyone's contributed a little something different. And my experiences with our dual enrollment program is that our students are engaged because we're engaged. So we're engaging with the students both in a personal way and then also the way that we build the courses and the tools that we layer in. And, so many online programs and online teaching, which very few people really know how to do well, it's really boring. And I think that that's something that's very different about the way that we teach and the way that we design our online programs. And so that is, I think that one of the biggest advantages is that we're engaged and our students are engaged.
Great answers, everyone. Thank you very much. Next question is asking, is this online program, College Start, only available for the first year of college? My son at this point is very anxious to leave home, and the pandemic isn't helping, of course.
So right now, Landmark College Start is a year one program. I think Peter spoke a little bit in the beginning. As we go along, we are developing more opportunities to grow our programs. But we're situated right now to work in this program as a first year experience.
And people should remember that about half of our students at our flagship campus, it's really a laboratory campus in Putney, Vermont, half of them are transfers. They started elsewhere. There will be some students who would qualify for this first year program who may have had one foray into higher ed and it didn't go very well, but they do need that first year. So you should just talk with us about candidacy and appropriateness. But this is what we want to start with. All credit. These are all credit courses. And so this is our first careful start. Over the years, we'll build in perhaps other programs for other smart, college capable, but maybe not really college ready students. But this is our first go at it with this particular population. College ready, perhaps college capable for sure, credit courses.
Mark, I also wanted to put in a plug for the online boot camp that we have this summer. So that might be a good option also for that particular parent and their child, because it's short in duration, but can really help with some of those skills that the student needs kind of strengthen their study skills and executive function in college, it also might give them a taste for Landmark and then perhaps even consider enrolling on campus for the fall. And that's available on our summer portion of our website as well.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kevin. Yeah, if you go to the summer on the top bar of the website, you'll find the 5-day boot camp there. That's an online only summer program. Next question is, will this increase the number of freshmen at Landmark? So in other words, will Landmark still take the same number of in-person on-campus freshmen, and additionally, these will be online freshmen, or will they replace freshmen on campus?
They will not replace the freshmen on campus. This is one way we can add to our overall enrollment. And but they are matriculated students. They're Landmark College full-time students. They just happen to be remote in a highly intentional way for their first start of college. So no, we aim to enroll a full class next year and every year. Although we're pretty careful about our enrollment, but we'd love to see it grow a little bit, whether it's residential or online.
And are there any age restrictions for the START program?
Nobody wants to answer that. I believe Kevin's the best one for this. Is typically we have high school. You want to go for it, Kevin?
Sure. So, we tend to skew a little bit older at times anyway. So as long as it's someone who's not accumulated a number of transfer credits, you could be someone who graduated from high school and never went to college, and you've always been fearful about maybe going to a college campus or coming to Vermont for some reason. And this is your opportunity to study online. So sure, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and this is your first foray into college studies, come see us.
That's funny, Kevin. Maybe we should get the cameras ready for tomorrow morning. We're supposed to get 4+ inches of snow tomorrow. So for convince people that online learning at Landmark's not a bad idea.
Welcome to spring in Vermont.
Oh my gosh. Right. I think we always assumed, but we don't know. See, this is just it about a brand new program. Is we try not to assume. We want to start small, premium program just like the campus and learn. But I think our assumption was it would be a smart student with LD who cannot take off-the-shelf online courses, does not want to jump into the deep end at a big or even a medium-sized institution. And I think our assumption was it would be somebody right out of high school or maybe took a year or, dabbled in it, but really hasn't completed that foundational experience. I think that's what we thought. But Kevin's right. We have some older students as well, and we just want to serve students who learn differently, who need that start to college and launch their career eventually.
All right. Thank you, Peter and Kevin. Question that I think is possibly for Michael and or Jill. Will students be in a cohort of other students, and will they get to meet and make friends within that cohort?
So I can start, and then Michael, maybe you want to jump in. So students will be in a cohort. They'll be taking the same classes, but they'll also have opportunities to engage with students who are at the Landmark campus residentially. So Michael can talk more about how those intersections happen, but we really want to deliberately help students first get to know one another as a cohort and really get engaged that way, but also experience some peers who are here on campus.
That's right, Jill. So not only connecting with each other as members of the cohort in the class, but getting familiar and getting connected with other resources and professionals on campus, as well as other students that are on campus as well. The direct connection with the resident assistant or the peer mentor that this cohort will have will help to make that first step, which is sometimes the hardest step to make when you're entering a new community and coming into a new environment. And then from there, the students are going to have the opportunity to venture out into lots of different other activities with even more Landmark College students. So the whole idea is to help students feel like they belong, get a sense of connection, and make Landmark College and our campus feel a little more familiar.
Thanks, everyone. So we have a tuition question. Will the tuition for the College Start program be the same as residential or reduced?
I can jump in with that. It will be obviously not include the room and board, and we are looking at a slightly reduced tuition from our traditional residential tuition rate. We're still kind of nailing it down, but we're looking at around $24,500 each semester. We do have financial aid available, quite a few different scholarship programs based on need and merit, and we encourage any family to submit the FAFSA, and we'll work with you. We always strive to make a Landmark education an affordable reality for students and their families. So we will work with you.
And this program, has more than any other program, and it's taught by Landmark, faculty and certified faculty. And one of the greatest things is it's not, it's all we do is LD. And every student is with the same types of students, and they can forget that they have an LD. We just teach differently. A lot of people feel like, forget about learning differently, we just teach differently. But one of the other things we are planning to include and develop, which is part of the price, is, and Jill alluded to this earlier, we involve parents more, not to the detriment of independence and autonomy development, but we know this is I think Jill, maybe you said journey, I'm not sure. This is a journey. And so this program is going to involve parents. Does anybody want to speak to that a little bit more about some of our plans as things crystallize?
Well, I'll jump in and talk about that a little bit, and I'm sure Michael will want to add as well. So one of the things that we found is really useful for parents is for them to anticipate what their student is going through and what to expect. It really helps students transition. It helps families be aware of what to expect as the semester goes on, and that people who are feeling as though they have communication, I think, are feeling just happier overall knowing what's happening with their students. So in this program, we will be doing a parent launch right around the same time as student orientation, where you'll get to know each other as parents. You'll have your own cohort model. And we found from parents just over the years that they appreciate being able to be with other adults who have experienced the same successes and concerns with their children, and can talk about it and be a network for one another. So there'll be a parent launch. There'll be an early, sort of an early semester progress kind of workshop, midpoint, and then a wrap up. And along with that, parents will know what's happening with their students and be able to have conversation with the person leading those groups, and to get some suggestions and some answers. So those are a few things that we're thinking about, sort of driven through the academics, but then there's other campus programming that's attuned to parents as well. So I'll let Michael add some now.
Thanks, Jill. So we do think that the parent relationship and the parent membership on this team is very, very important. A lot of colleges, parents will get the feeling that they're being asked to take 2 or 3 big steps back or away from their student and their student's experience and working with their student. That's not the approach that we take here. As Jill said, we want to make sure that you're not only informed about our programs, but understanding how your student is growing and how you can partner with them throughout. So we have those types of opportunities during family orientation and family weekend. We've migrated a number of those programs online. And as Jill also said, connections with each other as family members is as important as any other part of the experience. So we hope you're getting the message that you are very much part of the Landmark community now as well.
Michael, while you're up, another question for you. Will there be any social pragmatic support for START students?
There will be. Primarily, this will be done through our Peers program. Peers is a organized social development program for students who, for motivated students who want to understand how they can learn how to make and keep friends in the college environment outside of high school and kind of at the next stage of their life. They practice a lot of social engagement encounters. They work with social coaches through the program, and they also practice a lot of what they learn in the Peers weekly sessions during the week with the social coaches. It's a very valid experience for students. It's meaningful for them, and that's one way that they take away a lot of the skills and really internalize all of those things. We've had a lot of success with the Peers program, and there's also a parent element with the Peers program as well. So you would understand how the Peers curriculum is being delivered.
Thank you, Michael. Next question is this only a year program, or can START students transition to Putney in January? So I think the question may be, correct me, whoever asked if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're asking if you could start in the January semester, or maybe start online and then transfer to Putney in person.
If it's the latter, first of all, we intend this to be a 1 year-long program. So if someone started and wanted to transition to the campus for the second semester, we would have to talk, but I wouldn't see that as being a big problem. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some families that want to do that. Starting the program halfway through, that would be another conversation. And we don't have it engineered that way right now, but we're small enough and we're personalized enough where we would work with each one of you to see whether it's feasible. Now, one thing we haven't gotten into, which doesn't exactly speak to this question, but sort of, is we as we move forward, we want to bring some very deliberate on-campus opportunities, a January term perhaps, or a low residency. We do want students in START to have the option of experiencing campus life, even if it's for a 2-week period. And we haven't done it all yet. We're not trying to boil the ocean. We want a really strong, all-around college START program initially. But it is our hope that these students will find their way to the campus for short or really long periods of time once they realize success when taking Landmark College courses and working and living and interacting with other Landmark College community members. Folks, correct me if I'm wrong there, if this isn't what the vision was, but I think we all knew we were going to get some people who wanted to come to campus after achieving success.
I would, Peter, I would say that if our dual enrollment program is an example of that, then START definitely. We have a lot of students who kind of dip their toe in the water and start slowly and then progressively, and it's a nice kind of runway for students. And START would be similar, I am sure.
And a couple of related questions about whether students in the START program could be on campus for other things. So the first one is asking if there will be any planned or optional on-campus social opportunities for the START cohort members?
We, like almost everyone, are trying to create these things, but the fog of the pandemic also plays a role. We need to see where we're at by the end of the summer. Things are getting much, much better, and things are really, really good on our campus in terms of the very few number of positives we've had this year, and overall the focus on safety and science. But we have had conversations about whether or not we provide options during the January term and the spring term. I think we're going to work those out over the next few months, and then frankly see what the desire is from our families and our students. We didn't want to perfect this, so to speak, because we weren't sure what families are going to really, really want. They may want more of one thing, or they may want this option you're talking about. So it's not an experimental year. It's just we've realized that with any new program, you discover things. And we want to be able to lean in that direction if this is what families want. So we're going to be adaptable that way. Anybody else can add with anything they'd like with their thoughts or preliminary conversations.
So a related question is, would START students be able to attend in-person orientation in Putney?
Well, I'll try to answer that question. The orientation programs are going to be specialized for the Putney campus and the START program as well. So they're really meant to orient to two different learning environments. So I'm not really sure how to answer that question then in that regard, because the orientation design for the START program is really meant to get students ready for that program, that level of engagement, that way to connect with the college. And it just may be that if they attended the on-campus program for orientation, there may be some dissonance between understanding how the START program will work if they've been oriented to the campus program. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you, Michael. And a question for Kevin following up on the summer boot camp. A parent is asking, what is the tuition for the summer boot camp? I think my son might like it as a way to introduce him to Landmark.
All righty. And I should have had that at my fingertips, but I do because I'm typing it into the computer right at this moment. So bear with me 1 second and I will have that for you. So the boot camp, which by the way, runs from Monday, July 26th till Friday, July 30th, is $1,850, and there is financial aid available as well. It's not as high, obviously, as it would be for our other programs, since it is a short duration, but there's a small amount available. And I would encourage, if anybody is interested in that program, to seek it out soon, as many of our summer programs are starting to go to wait lists already.
And Mark, if I might add, and Kevin, maybe you could speak to this too, is we encourage anyone to visit our campus. We would encourage anyone to come to our campus. We can generate any sort of experience or tour. If you want to spend a few days in the area during the summer, during January term, you do some skiing and snowboarding as well. You can come here and we'll teach you. If you feel that you as a student or a parent or your clients, if you're an educational consultant, really need and want to see the flagship campus, we'll welcome you. As Michael said, it may not be the right fit programmatically to join that program, but when you come to this campus, it demystifies a lot. You realize, you see the other students, you realize how cool they are, and this place is just way ahead of it. And we don't focus on deficits at all with LD. We focus on strengths, and you can feel it on the campus. So START students are our students. You want to come to campus and visit us and spend some time with us, we will work it out.
You know, and to follow up on that too, so if anybody is wondering what our visit guidelines are currently, we're offering drive-through tours and also student guided tours as well under certain guidelines. And if you go to landmark.edu/visit, you can see all the different ones that we offer. In addition to, obviously, we offer several different virtual tour options. And we'll be happy to work with you in any way that we can to make it so that you can visit us.
And Chris Lenoir, Director of Marketing, is on the back end. And I was just going to ask Chris if you could post the summer boot camp link in the announcements, or to the parent who asked that question, then you can see that page and all the details there. Okay, next question is, if a student has a positive learning experience in the one-year online START program, would they be offered an online 4-year bachelor's degree program in the future?
Hey, academic team, get cracking on that tomorrow, okay? Not everybody was here for some of the introductory comments. We have many years of experience with online learning, but we started slowly there. We absolutely focus on quality, not quantity. We are being very careful with any sort of transition program. It'll be a little while before we have an online bachelor's degree program. So it may be a stretch for a START student this year to seamlessly transition into an associate, a bachelor's program. We very well could have an associate degree program online, for the following year. I can't guarantee that, but I know Jill and the team are working on it, and it could be a stepwise type of thing. If we do, and even if it's only an associate degree, we know we have the evidence. The longer a student stays at Landmark, face-to-face or online, the better they do wherever they go after that. We have shown that. So we are going to build those programs, whether it's the program you want and need and it's fully online and it's bachelor's degree, not sure yet. Much more likely an associate. So I would see, if I were a parent, I'd say, listen, do the START, and then you might, maybe if you need another year of it, they'll probably have an associate degree program, and all of these can matriculate into other programs. So we'll develop them, but we're really careful. We don't like to develop 5 things at once, because for us, it's all about heavy resources, lots of support, lots of quality. That's simply our model.
Thank you, Peter. And we have one more question and just a few minutes left. So I think this is a follow-up on something either Tabitha or Manju might have said earlier, but someone's asking if we said that gap year students can take dual enrollment courses, and what are the pluses and minuses of doing online dual enrollment versus college START for a recent high school graduate?
I'll jump in, and then I'll invite Tabitha to speak. The dual enrollment can be taken by gap year students. So the dual enrollment is for high school juniors, seniors, and gap year. The big difference between college START and dual enrollment is dual enrollment are courses. They're credit-bearing college courses, but they're courses. But you heard Peter talk about the almost 360 wraparound support of a program. That's what college START offers. So all the social elements that you heard Michael talk about, and all the different range of academic supports that Jill talked about, including the multiple meetings with the advisor, the parent programs. So it's a full program versus the dual enrollment, which are courses very well designed to support students who learn differently, but they don't have the level of support that is going to be built into college START. Tabitha, please add anything that you feel.
Sure. I guess what I would add is that, Manju, you talked about the level of support and the full wraparound, which dual enrollment has a number of supports, but it doesn't have the wraparound. And it's a different commitment. So, you're looking at taking a course or two at a time. And with dual enrollment, we're talking about College Start, you're a fully matriculated student. So that's a very different commitment than taking two courses.
All right. Thank you, Manju and Tabitha. That's all the questions we have, and we're just about at 7:30. So, Peter, I don't know if you or Jill or someone would like to just say a little bit to wrap up.
I'd love to say a few things, Jill, anybody else? Well, this has been fantastic. This is exactly what we were hoping to do this first time out. We're going to have other sessions like this. We're looking for feedback. What might you want? We knew you want the nuts and bolts of it, the cost, the start date, and everything else, and how it's different. But we really want to hear from you, and we're hoping you spread the word as well. And Mark, what would you recommend the email address be if any of the attendees here have a thought or a question that they want to shoot to us after this? What would you recommend?
I think you could use admissions@landmark.edu. That goes to Kevin's team. You could use marketing@landmark.edu. That goes to me and my team. And we can direct those emails to the right places. We did just get one last minute question in that I'm going to throw to Kevin because I think you'll like this. A parent is asking, my son is currently in 11th grade. From what I can tell, the high school summer program might be a good fit. Can you tell me a little bit about it? So I don't know if you can do that in like a minute or if we should share a link, but we could certainly share a link with this parent.
Sure. So as we said before, the landmark.edu/summer outlines all of our programs, but the high school program, we have two different tracks. We have a traditional track and also a social pragmatics track. And that program, the arrival date is July 2nd. We have a week of welcome for that. And that runs until Saturday, July the 31st. The program really works with students both in and out of the classroom. There's all kinds of event programming, recreational programming to support what's in the classroom as well, working on building your strengths as a learner, not only as a neurodiverse learner, but it's actually open to students who just want to strengthen their skills in the classroom as well. We'd be more than happy to talk with you if you want to reach out to us directly at summer@landmark.edu, or as Mark mentioned before, admissions@landmark.edu. That program is filling up quickly. It's kind of our flagship summer program. It's been around for a great number of years, very popular, a lot of fun. We love having the students on campus, several hundred students on campus in the summer. It's a great place to be in Vermont. By then, the snow should stop, so it should be good.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight, and please do contact us with any questions. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.